Hello and welcome to Alternate Image Raid. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video, and today we're going to talk about the campaign. I'm going to show you a campaign team 3 different ways for fast campaign farming. So first I'm going to show you what I used originally. This is not the fastest idea, but I just kind of want to show you how the run went. I'm going to show you who I use currently, and then I'm going to show you an uncommon champion that a friend of mine actually uses and built for his team that is as fast as my Void Epic. So let's get into this. We're going to start with Kale. We're going into Skull Crown and then into the Uncommon afterwards. Of course, I will show you all of their stats and so forth. It'll be slightly in different order because I'm using an imported video from my friend's recording for that Uncommon. But we'll still get the runs, the characters, the stats, masteries, and all of that. For Kale, he should very quickly go through this. It is going to be obviously 100%, or there's no point in messing with it, but it is not incredibly fast because he does need, multiple turns to hit these enemies as he's not rotating through his abilities super quickly. He doesn't have an AoE for every single turn, but we'll still see 17 seconds. So this is pretty much, you've just started, you have your starting champion. Honestly, any of the starting champions will pretty much do this job, and get it down to 17 seconds. It's pretty quick. I stayed with my Kale for way too long, and when I eventually show you his stats, it's pretty much the same gear that it was when I was early game running him in that. I eventually then switched to Skull Crown, and this was to have an excuse of gearing up this champion for Faction Wars, and then also get a much faster champion for my campaign farming here. I wanted to get that much faster run with this champ. You'll see Skull Crown does it in 8 seconds. My best time of 7 seconds is also with Skull Crown. She has pretty much 2 possibilities here. She will one-shot the first wave, and she will one-shot the second wave, but depending on if her masteries actually reset her hard-hitting ability, otherwise she'll just use that and it'll take 2, which leads to a 8 to 9 second run. I think depending on if this is running on phone or computer or with RSL helper, it can change how fast that run is going. So now let me show you the uncommon, and then we'll get into everybody's stats afterwards. So the uncommon that we're using here in this video is Saurus, and the gear for it is not exceptionally crazy. The friend of mine that actually made this, he was only 4 or 5 months into the game probably at the time that he wanted to upgrade his campaign farmer, maybe a little bit less. And so he was able to do this without wild gear. It's not like it's anything crazy, not a whale account, nothing remarkable. So of course I'll show you that gear here in a little bit, but I just want to show this champion can get it done between 8 to 10 seconds. When you see at the end that best time of 8 seconds, that is for his count with this champion. Now let's get to the gear for all of these guys I've been showing. So here are the stats for my Kale. First off, I have not used his blessing yet, so this is not affecting this run whatsoever. You'll see that the gear still has a lifesteal, which isn't bad. We have 4-star pieces. We have blue pieces. This is not exceptional gear. This is sets that I got him into, 2-3 months into the game, and then maybe slowly enchanted over time. Just enough speed that he laps the enemies and gets to go twice, and then honestly just as much damage you can get on him. I do have him in high accuracy because I use him as a poisoner as well. Accuracy is not necessary for him as a campaign farmer. Higher attack, higher speed, 100% crit rate would be great, although the crit rate isn't as important because while his A1 and his A3 will get that increased boost, he's getting 15% crit chance on his A3 or A2 as it is. So you can actually run him at 85% crit rate and get pretty much all the value you really need to for this run. So taking him to, 85% crit rate and then boosting up these stats, not worrying so much about, say, accuracy. If you're just running him as a campaign farmer, if you're taking him anywhere else, accuracy is definitely necessary. Oh, and let's hit his masteries. I did, this is, I think, the first champion I mastered. We took him into War Master for Clan Boss, and I have not messed with these in forever since then. I couldn't promise that the rest of it's the way to go, but War Master for Clan Boss is going to be the way to go. Because if you're using Kale for your campaign, you're probably using him elsewhere, and that hit is pretty nice. If not, getting that extra crit damage is going to be fine for wave clearing. Skull Crown. Now, Skull Crown I actually took through War Master as well, which is probably incorrect because you mostly just want her for flat damage. And so getting her in Flawless Execution or Helm Smasher is probably going to be smarter for most areas. I pretty much just use my Skull Crown as my campaign farmer and also in Faction Wars. Now, she does help on the Faction Wars boss, but it's not providing as much value as it could here. And maybe with those, you would see those double hits not needing to be done that way. We also have her on Lifesteal, and she is this way partially because I was switching out a champion with Lifesteal for that role, so I put her in it, and also for Faction where she's able to help keep herself alive when she brings her cheat death up. So we have her in a ton of attack and 100% crit rate and decent crit damage. I don't have her accuracy high enough, which is a problem in Faction Wars, and I do have her speed to make sure that she definitely gets to go twice before any of them get to go. I think a little bit less speed will do that, but I wanted to make sure that she could guaranteed there. Obviously, you could get a consistent extra second off of this run if you can increase the attack, the crit damage, or take her through one of those other mastery options. So let me show you the stats on Saurus, this uncommon champion. We'll see that he doesn't have a crazy amount of stats. He's at 3k attack, he's at 200 speed, 100% crit rate, and barely over 100% crit damage, only 137%. You'll see he's in blues, he's in mismatched sets. He doesn't really have anything specific in terms of gearing other than just that speed set to get the two for one attack. For masteries, pretty standard masteries. We did take him in the extra 20% crit damage, and then otherwise just standard damage masteries. We're trying to get him to the crit damage is going to get through, a little bit of extra stats and speeds on the support tree, and that's really about it. Very reasonable champ to get geared. So there we go, 3 different options, 3 different ways of doing the campaign farming. Obviously you have your starting rare that you're gonna want to take a lot of different places, and is going to be key for your account early on. And then you have, somebody you might double dip on building up a good champion that you can use that's fast. There's going to be other champions that are able to do this job. The main thing you want is somebody with all of their abilities being AoE. That way every turn they're just wiping the whole wave. A couple other options for this role that I have considered when I was building her. Bellower has all of his attacks are AoE, so if you can get his stats high enough, he will be able to do that. Additionally, we have Fellhound is pretty good. You can get it set up so they will only hit with this A1, and that requires a specific tuning of attack and crit to make sure that the champion thinks they're going to get to go. I think they have to hit twice to kill the waves unless you get really crazy stats. So not always the best option unless you're going to get, program the AI somehow. But those other ones are really the way to go. You have a Bellower rare, you have Skull Crown, and of course you have your starting champion. And then that uncommon that I showed is just pretty good way to go about getting this done. It's nice to see that there's a variety of options to do it. Again, that A1 with the AoE is going to be really important. Then just enough speed to double the turn, high crit rate, crit damage, and damage, and you can get through. I just wanted to show you these options to kind of see that this is a flexible thing, and also it is really important because shaving off maybe the 10 seconds from my Kale to Skull Crown, not really a big deal each run, but given the fact that over time you're going to do tens of thousands of campaign runs, you want to get this upgraded as soon as possible. So once you're able to get that, it's not the first priority of a new account. Clan boss and other things are going to be bigger, but man, being able to crank out the training points in a fraction of the time for one of those tournaments or events is really nice. Anyway, this has been an alternate image raid video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you like seeing different options for this all in one video. If you if you really liked, sub, and if you dislike, smash the dislike button, as it's still engagement for the channel. And as always, have a great day.